Hi there, this is the Victats Podcast. This is a podcast about tatting, not the skin and ink kind of tatting, but the needle, shuttle, and thread kind of tatting. So if you're taking off your shirt to show me something, you can put it back on. My name is Vicki Clark, and since 2018, somewhere in there, I had a podcast on Podbean that was kind of, whatever. They talked about my tatting stuff. And I'm switching over to YouTube to see if it works a little bit better. The podcasting was terrific in that I could just do it from my car while I'm driving. Because I just had to talk, but it was something that I paid for, and this year, and paid for, but didn't really get a lot of benefit from because I wanted to be able to do everything on my phone, and the editing kind of sucks on the phone, so then that would be a barrier to, like, it was hard for me even to listen to it back until I uploaded it. So I just figured that was a barrier. So I changed it. So we're going to test out the waters for this. I might go back to Podbean. I don't know. They're still harassing me, telling me I haven't paid. They lock your account so that you can't go in and just say, hey, I'm done. And I can't listen on Podbean anymore, which is fine because everybody else that I ever listened to was on Apple. I get through other sources. Sorry, I can't think of the proper name for other podcasting accounts. So that was the thing. And I really, like I said, wasn't very happy with Podbean. So I may change back. I figured that if you are somebody, so what I often do is I often listen to, if I listen to one, I have a YouTube premium, so I don't have to listen to the commercials, but I often listen to things as I'm driving, and so I just have, so I figured to me it's not any different than the podcasting. I don't know, whatever. I may go back. So I'm actually podcasting to you from Smiths Falls. It's not hot out yet, but it was awfully hot out yesterday. So my house is up to 27 degrees Celsius. I have an old house, and in my old house I have a dirt floor basement, so there's no reason why my house should ever heat up. I'm actually on bedrock, but what happens is I'm on the end of a T, and I get a lot of solar heating, and it's funny. Anyways, I'm not going to digress. I'm going to stay on topic. And I have figured out I have about half an hour to talk before it goes into a second video. So what I thought I'd do is so tatting is a type of knotted lace. If you're interested in tatting, you can just go on Instagram, #tatting. You'll get lots of pictures. There's lots of Facebook groups for tatting, and there are lots of free patterns if you want to try to learn how to tat, or you want to craft where legitimate free patterns, not stolen free patterns, where you want it to be reasonably portable because it's a very small craft in terms of the equipment you need. We either use a shuttle or we use a needle. Now, depending on what tool you use, we may go about some things a little bit differently. And there is a free online tatting class that has been running since, I think, 1999. I know I started following it in 2002 or 2003, somewhere in there. But it's actually also having YouTube stuff now. It used to meet in a chat room and they'd talk through it. But in the last 2 years, Georgia Sight, who is the founder of the online tatting class and was the longtime teacher for a lot of the classes, she has since stepped back, and a really terrific crew of tatters have come in to take over. And so they've moved on to YouTube as well, because then people can visibly see what's going on. The other thing that there's lots of on YouTube are tutorials. So, so if you want to learn, I highly recommend just searching tatting on YouTube. And like I said, you either use something called a shuttle, or you use, I'll show you a shuttle in a second, or you use a long needle. But yeah. I also do cross stitch. That's why there's floss tube in the title as well. So what I was going to do is I was going to do a whip parade, but yesterday left half my stuff at my cottage because I have a cottage. And I'll explain that some things I do at my cottage and some things I do at home, just so I'm not carrying everything back and forth. Okay. So I don't have that. Oh, and I just remembered I I didn't bring down some things, but from upstairs. But that's the thing. Okay, I'm going to start off with something we all call the Renelec Spring Doily. And strangely enough, it's by a blogger named Renata. The blog address is Renelec, okay, Renulek. So if you just Google Renelec Spring Doily, it's going to take you to her blog. But she actually there's a different name to the blog that's in Polish. So I'm not going to torture anybody with my attempt to pronounce some of that stuff, but she's been doing this for about, I think, 10 years, where every spring, that's why it's called the Renelec Spring Doily, she or Renelec Spring Napkin, depending on where you're from, she will put out this doily. And it's a very simple pattern that she does. Like, so she just does a picture pattern where she shows you the picture of it and puts the cans beside it. So that's where some people had a problem with that. So she also offers when she starts the Renelec Spring Doily every year, she also offers the pattern that you can purchase ahead. So A, you don't have to wait, or B, you have more information if you need it. Okay, so I currently have 2 Renelec Spring Doilies on the go. I have the 2019 and I have the 2020. I just realized the 2020 is upstairs, so we're not going to worry about it. It's at round 7, if that makes any whatever to you. But I do have the Renelec Spring Doily 2019, and this is it. So, here, sorry. Okay, so this is what it looks like there. Okay, whoop. I have to keep it a little bit like this. Okay, so as you can see, it's actually quite wide. I was thinking I should use my. I have a roll that you can use to transport these. It's really, in Canada, so we're in Canada, we have a show called we used to have a show called the Red Green Show. And so it's a very red-green carrying case, because it's pretty much a pool noodle and felt, like craft felt. Anyways, so not like some of the fancy ones you see on Cross Stitch and all that stuff. They're just, no. Though I really want one that I saw a really beautiful carrying case on Cross Stitch. Anyways, so there is the stitches. This is what it looks like. So let's go this way too, because I've got my hand here. So I'm on round 16, and until the end, nothing is complicated. So until the final round, which is round 20, I'm using a combination of Lisbeth thread, which is the tatting thread that's the most accessible right now. It's got a long color range. I know some people don't like it, but it's got a massive color range, and I just think anything you get used to is going to work. In case you're wondering what the little holes are in this board, I've used this board as a block. I've used this piece of foam core as a blocking board. So anyways, it's done with a combination of Lisbeth thread and size 20. This is in size 20, and a hand-dyed thread by Carrie Sullivan. Carrie Sullivan is the owner of Graceful Art Studio, and that's out in New York State. And she does these beautiful, beautiful hand dyes. And the nice thing about her is almost all of her hand dyes will somehow magically coordinate. And you look at them and you're like, I'm not sure how this is going to work, but they actually do, because she tends to do a lot of flex and that kind of stuff. So there's a very layered, beautiful effect to her hand dyes. What was I going to say? Else I was going to say. So that's the 2019. Don't think that it's taken me till now to get all that done. It's just I take breaks, so I'm not working on that constantly. So please don't look at that and think, oh my god. But it is a lot of tatting. So that's why that's called, so we like to call these bigger doilies monster doilies. And there is a doily by, just blanked on his name, that we officially called the monster doily, by Jan. Can't think of Jan's last name. Anyways, but this is by Renelec. And like I said, if you really want to see something neat, then go and hashtag on Instagram Renelec Spring Doily. And if you want to get more specific, you can go like 2018, 2019, 2000, because people all over the world do the doily. Obviously, the beginning parts go faster than the later parts. Yep. Now, I have done a 2014, which I hit a certain point. I didn't do the whole doily. I figured I was done. Like, I liked where it was at a certain point, so I stopped. But I have done the 2016 spring doily to completion. And so this will be my third Renelec spring doily when it's done. Third one completed. And it's going to be so good 6 inches bigger. Probably. Okay, so I'm just going to put this back to where it was. Oh, shoot, I meant to show you the shuttle, but anyways, all right. Opportunity's gone. The other thing I've been working on is, this is completed, although I haven't hid the ends. Oh, wow, that's not pretty. A lot of contrast there. But it is a pattern by Rachel Alder that's available on the, I think, just Tatting Facebook group, or just Tatting Facebook group. This is a long pattern to do, but this is my first one I've done. I've started the heart on the second. I've done the heart on the second one, and have started doing some of the white, but haven't gotten very far. It's a really, if you're a tatter, it's a tremendous experience to do. It's written, I think, pretty simply to make it easier, but you will need to look back at the picture just because of the twists and turns. So funny. I can't believe I had thought I was so smart because I was dropping everything, simplifying. What I was doing was simplifying. The other thing I've been doing lately is with cross stitch, they've been doing something called the Great Floss Drop Exchange. So what they've done is taken business cards, and we put a picture on it, DMC number at the back or other, and people put a big hole in the bottom, a big hole here, and they use them on rings to hold the floss. And then one card's your signature card. So this was, except I put a hole in it, this was a signature card that I was doing because I wanted to add a little bit of tatting to it. And I used the beads to hide the thread. And then you write your name on the signature card, you write your name and all that information on the back. Funny story about this. So I'm just focused on them getting there. I'm not worried about whatever. And I know there's rules about how thick things have to be. It turns out if you want an envelope to go out of Canada to another country, it has to be less than 5 millimeters thick. So when I took it to the lady, and I had things all folded over because I didn't want them rattling around in the thing. I wanted it to be in the envelope and all that stuff. So I had wrapped them and kind of brought it down to a succinct size. She's just like, those are all going to have to be packages. They need to be less than 5 millimeters. She's like, and then she's all suspicious because she's like, what is it? And she can, I think, feel this, but she shouldn't be able to feel that because it's been, anyways. So she's all whatever. And I'm like, they're business cards. And she's like, well, then I just go rewrap it because otherwise you're going to pay more money per package. And not more, a little more. They had to go with packages. So then it's like starts at, I think, $8 or something like that. Okay, this is one that's been a very long time work in progress. It's by Carrie Sullivan. It's from one of her Tatting Times 2014. So that's how long it's been a work in progress. And part of the reason it's been like that is because I think I'm going to run out of this. And hers lays flat beautifully, so I will have to block that out. But I think I'm going to run out of this beautiful. And this is all done in her hand dye. So as I said, see how they can all kind of coordinate. But this beautiful thread, it never occurred to me I could run out because she gives you like 70 yards, 70 plus yards. Like she gives you so much on it. I couldn't imagine at that time. But I'd never done that thick of a round before. So I don't think I really thought that, hadn't really understood. Yep. I'd never contemplated the fact that, you can't really, I don't know why that's not showing up properly. Well, that's weird because that's folded over. That's why. Okay, hold on. There we go. Anyway, so I had never contemplated that. So then I was panicking, trying to figure out what I was going to do, because pretty much her stuff is, her colors are one run and done. If you want multiples, you got to get the multiples at the time. So what I am likely going to do, I've been thinking about this, is, you know, cross stitchers back in the day, not now, but when they ran out of whatever, they just kept going. So they would change the thread or they do what they have to do. So I think what I'm going to do is just find another color and finish out the edge, and then I'm done. The doily itself goes way bigger, but then I'm done. I might actually, I don't know, I might just be worrying about nothing because I do still have other thread, but I just don't know. This is a type of tatting shuttle. There's a whole bunch of different kinds and people collect them. So there's ones that are way fancier. I just prefer to use a simple Laces brand tatting shuttle. But I go through, depending on how my hands are, I go through different types. If you ever wonder about my handwriting, I believe tatting is responsible for the fact that my handwriting is atrocious, because I've done a lot of tatting. Okay, so we're going to switch over to some of the cross stitch stuff that I'm working on. This is not, I also do knitting and crochet. So this is not all of the stuff I have here, because I don't think, we'll see. I don't think I'm going to pull out the crochet, but I might. I'm at 16 minutes. Okay, so this is a pattern by the Tiny Modernist. Oops, can't see with the big blob in the middle. And it's the 3 skeletons. I just really loved it. The thing about this that I really wasn't, I don't know. I love the moon. I love how it looks, but my stitches look like crap. Now for a while there, somehow I'd managed to exchange out my needle and had a really weird needle to go with it, but it's funny with this black, because sometimes I'm just aiming. So there you are. But I'm getting far. Now when I have it back like this, it actually looks not bad. So I just have to, once I'm done that area, I have to do the back stitching, and then like put rip on here, add little fingers, some facial, like the lips and all that stuff, and then it will be done. So I'm pretty close to having that done, but it's like the moon of doom. So I like to call any round on tatting that takes me forever a round of doom, and just because it's so complicated, so it's just itself, you know, an evil thing. And so this moon was kind of complicated. The rest of this pattern took me next to no time. I thought it was going to be done like that. Now about the black thread or the black fabric, it depends on the day whether or not I can do it. That's the other thing. So I have to do it outside. I can't see inside. Can't see it in here. And that's with like fancy lighting. Fancy schmancy lighting. Okay. I bought these little laminator pouches at the dollar store. Total fail, because I thought they'd be kind of cute like this, and then you could, you know, just add a little strength to them. Total fail. Total fail. Okay. This is from the Just Cross Stitch magazine Halloween edition for this year. It's the Lazy Witch. I can't remember who it's by, my apologies. And it's called Simply Sunshine Lagana. I picked it up from Knowledge and Needles. Now, she repackages everything, so you don't really know. That's in Brighton, by the way. Brighton, Ontario. But I just really, I loved the color, and I finished doing, if I have time, I'll show you. I finished doing, I did a shortened version of one of the Blackbird designs from Winds of Autumn. So on it, and that's what I had liked it for. So yeah, this black hat really kicked my ass. And I think it's because of the angle and everything, it kept messing with my head. And the funny thing is my purple stitches are awful. But they're colors that you can't really see them, so who cares? And it's for my niece. She'll get over it. I, on the other hand, will not. I would have. They didn't look that bad when I was doing them. I actually don't like stitching in blocks. I find I don't like that. It feels like it's too tight. And full confession, I'm actually mostly I like to do perforated paper. That's my favorite kind of cross stitch. Which is why I don't have any cross stitch from years ago, because when you do stuff with perforated paper, they tend to be ornaments. So you give them away. I better put that back in there. Okay, so I like to keep stuff in bags, like plastic bags, so I can see through them. I have some fancy bags. I do keep some things in some bags like that, but I actually really prefer the other kind because then I can see through them. Okay, and then this is, so I joined I know this is flipping around because of the cameras, but because of the way the camera works, but I joined, there's a Secret Santa exchange that's going on, and so when I joined it, I was really nervous because it's the first cross stitch exchange I've done about getting my project done. So I picked about 5 projects right away. I have finished one as an option. I haven't finished it, but like I've finished the cross stitch on it, so I had finished the one as my option. And then I also started this one. Actually, I started this one first, and then I did the other one. And what happened was, this is by Blue Ribbon Studios, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's from The Gift of Stitching, I think 2009 or 2006. I wanted one of the, anyways. And it's from their Christmas, like their November, December edition. If you're looking for a lot of cross stitching patterns and the steal of a deal, I would buy that collection because you can buy it online. It's really easy to download. And I just like going through and looking through the pictures. So that's been, for me, worth it just there. But it's a set of 4, but I thought I would do Wishing You Friendship I thought it would be a really nice exchange. Now, here's the thing. I kept looking at the chart, and I couldn't figure out what it was about this chart that I found so confusing. And then I realized all of a sudden, oh my God, it's over 1. Like, not a big deal. I'll just do this part in over 1. And then as I'm going along, I'm realizing, oh my God, 80% of the chart is over 1. Yep. And the over 1 stitching, depending on the day, is good or bad. But I have to tell you the truth. I understand now why people want to wax their threads, because I found that some of them got fuzzy. I also learned about what's her name? Jean. I can't think of her last name. Farish? No, I don't know. She has a blog, and she's been a long time cross stitch teacher, and she said about, the way the lines go. And so when you're doing over 1, if you don't stitch a certain way, your thread will slip up under. So I can't, I like to often stitch in hand, but sometimes I like to stitch on the Q-snap. So this one has to be stitched on the Q-snap just because it is over 1. And it looks really pretty, but sometimes in certain lights you can see how fuzzy the leaves are because of the floss. And I did notice, so this is some kind of fancy floss. It's Buckeye Scarlet, because I've only bought 2 things of fancy floss. And I bought one because Buckeye Scarlet is the one that they always talk about on the Saltback Stitcher and on Brendan the Serial Stitcher. So that's the name I recognize. And then there was a Halloween color, a really beautiful orange colored one that's put away right now. Anyway, so I'm getting there. I'm getting the leaves around. There'll be 2 normal sized robins, cardinals in there, so that will be normal cross stitch. And then underneath is like letters and numbers. Kind of makes it look like a little mini sampler, and it had been finished into a pillow. But I'm debating whether or not I will. It depends on how I feel about doing the letters. But to be quite honest, I found the lettering really easy to do. I found the holly leaves really hard to do. So, and I don't know how important it was for them to be done exactly right, but whatever. And this is on Be Stitch Me fabric from Be Stitch Me, and it's called Artemis, and you can't really tell, but it is absolutely gorgeous. Now, I was thinking I was going to do some measuring today because I also have Cottage garden samplers, the one that has the, sorry, hold on. Sorry. Oh, can I find it easy? I doubt it. Oh dear. Oh, yeah, I can. Sometimes I put things in safe places. This one, the Peace on Earth with the cardinal, because I just was following somebody that was doing a stitch with me, and I could, because the thing with some of the pictures is you can't really see. I find they don't get a lot of, I had joined the Facebook group, but there's not a lot of people posting anyways, and they don't talk about any of that. But I really had loved this cardinal actually the most, and so I was thinking that might actually look good on here. I have linen. I don't enjoy the linen. 28 count. It is 8.5 by 8.5. And then do you add the appropriate fit? Anyways, okay, I have to read it more, but that's the one. The other one I have by her, sorry, I'm running out of, is the Promise of Spring, which I had ordered a really beautiful fabric called Gaia from Be Stitch Me. I have it here. It's here. You don't need to see it, I don't think. And then the one other thing that I was working on is the Heather M. Jardin. And that's by Hands Across the Street, Across the Sea. They had given that pattern to free for anybody who had ordered the Ann Morrison, which I fell in love with. Haven't really been working on it, but it's at my cottage. But so there's where I am on here. The sad thing is that I left this in the hoop for several months. So when I go to move that, it's going to be ugly. Okay, I have, oh yeah, so my perforated project that I was working on is upstairs, so I'll show that another time. So I always have something on fabric, and then on perforated paper, just because perforated paper sometimes just goes so fast. And if I'm working, yeah. Anyways, all right, so I'm at 27 minutes and 15 seconds, so I'm going to sign off because I don't know how to do any editing or anything like that, which is why I had a problem with Podbean in the first place. So we're going to sign off. I'm going to wish you happy tatting, and if you... the way it works is if you want to hear any more, then what you do is you like and subscribe so that when I post again, you can see it. Okay? All right. And like I said, if you have any questions, post them in the comments below. All right. Cheers.